how these randoms keep getting jobs. Don't worry about it. I'ma say, I can't wait to say it. I love it. I love it. Go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the NotBland Show. I am your host, Dujunnea Bland. Of course, we're powered by Everything Nitro and, of course, sportsjourney.com. And this is a bonus podcast for you today. I have my big brother, who is an NFL insider. He is a Washington Commanders insider, does some ABC News stuff. He is the president, the emperor, the king of sportsjourney.com. It's my brother, Lake Lewis. How's it going, brother?
What's going on with you, man? Like what you're doing. Looks good.
And we trying our best to represent well. And today, it's finally done. This man, Dan Quinn, is now the Washington Commanders head coach. What are your initial thoughts on this?
I think that they went with someone that they feel like can galvanize the locker room and lead these young guys. One thing about Dan Quinn is he's been successful in all of his previous stops as far as a defensive coordinator, most recently Dallas. And obviously we know about the debacle of the playoff game against the Packers, but the full body of work for that defense was really good. And, you know, he turned a rookie guy in NotBland into a Pro Bowler, so he's done some things, the emergence of Micah Parsons. So I think that they look at that and they feel like he's a guy that might be able to get a message through to some of these guys. And is it a consolation prize? Sure it is, because he wasn't their first choice. We all know that. But still, this might be what you need. Maybe you need somebody that's hungry to prove that I should have been your first choice.
Right. I agree. What I looked at initially was you have to look at what he's done and what those players in that locker room feel about him everywhere he goes. And I do not view this as a Ron Rivera type hire. He has had tremendous success on the defensive side of the ball. I know a lot of people want to go offensive, and that's fine. But this NFL, regardless of how innovative you are, defense wins championships in this game. And everywhere he's been, his defense is top 5 at least. Yes, and it's not with great players. A lot of people look at the last game, and I'll be the first to tell you I was joking about Dan Quinn as well in that game. But let's admit, Dallas's front line is undersized, and the way to beat them is to run at them. Don't allow them to cross your face and try to break through the seams, and that's exactly what happened to him in that game. So he had done a good job with an undersized defense, and he deserves credit for that.
Yeah, I think if this was any other year, I would not be upset under any circumstances about Dan Quinn being the coach, because he's definitely qualified. I just think that you had a couple of young guns out there, ready to be plucked. One was on offense, one was on defense. You guys know that I was always in the Mike McDonald corner. I've been pushing for him from day one, and I never wavered from that. And what I saw in that AFC Championship game made me want him even more, because after the Chiefs drove down on them and scored the first 2 touchdowns, he put a noose around their neck after that. He figured out some things. But you know what? He's a guy that would probably tell you the highest things and best things about Dan Quinn, because Dan Quinn has done that consistently. And for all the young people out there, I understand that they probably wanted a young coordinator that they could grow with as well.
Yeah.
But, sometimes experience is needed to get this thing going in the right direction. And again, Dan Quinn, when he was in Seattle, we know what their defense as the Legion of Boom did. They were in 2 Super Bowls. Probably should have won 2 in a row. Wasn't the defense that gave that game away. We are not going to go there, though. And then, of course, in Atlanta, he took the Falcons to the Super Bowl. Yes, again, the defense imploded in the second half against the Patriots, giving up that 28-3 lead. But he still was in the Super Bowl, nevertheless. And that was the first time, the Falcons, or second time the Falcons had ever been in the Super Bowl. So, we know what he was doing with Dallas, and Dallas looked awful in that Green Bay loss. But all year long, that defense was flying around. And one thing you do know about that defense is very physical.
Yeah.
And I just think that for Commanders fans, DJ, they've got to give him a chance. Listen, can't get any worse than what it's been. So now you have a GM who clearly sees something in this guy. You've got an owner that sees something in him, and players are there. I talked to a former player today that's been in touch with Dan Quinn, and you know who I'm talking about. And he said, look, he wants to be back there. He wants to coach under the guy on that D line. You already know who I'm talking about. So, I said,
number 93 should be there.
Absolutely. And he
I
said,
100% agree.
He said, let's get this thing done. He said, but he can tell me with Dan Quinn is beloved by the players. They like him. It's not a lack of him saying something and it goes out of their ear. What happened in that Dallas game was, I just think all of them got out coached and out scripted, and Green Bay caught them off guard. The offense didn't do their justice anyway for that defense. So those things happen.
Yeah, it does. And I like a man who's hungry. And I thought of it this way as well. You have a first-time GM, resume is well qualified. But I also thought it was also a good move to pair him with a person in the head coaching position that has been there and done that. And most importantly, like we talked about, has respect to those guys in the locker room. When you have respect to the guys in the locker room, he is my equivalent or Washington's equivalent to Dan Campbell.
Absolutely.
They're going to run through a wall for you.
100%.
And they're going to bite off kneecaps.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's it. So, earlier today I do my ABC thing, and that's what I said. He's eerily similar to Dan Campbell. Wears the baseball cap backwards. He's coming at you. His defenses play downhill. They don't stay back on their heels. And I think that that's a good thing. That's what's needed here. And if you look at the hire, look at it this way too. If you're one of these people that are upset, the strength of this team still lies on their defense. That's where the bulk of the talent is.
Yeah.
So you have a guy that can, walk into a situation where there is some talent in play. Maybe this rejuvenates a John Allen, but you have Deron Payne, you have Fedarian Mathis, who you really haven't seen what he can do, but he was a top draft pick coming out of Alabama for these guys.
Mm-hmm.
You have Cam Curl, you're going to re-sign him. You have Jamin Davis that's been used all wrong for most of his career.
Killing that man.
You think about it, Benji St. Juice, there's talent here. Yes. And I think that if this guy can tap into that, the Emmanuel Forbes and the Quan Martins, who were totally misused, I would have felt much better if Chase Young and Montez Sweat were still in the building, but we know that's not the case.
Would be nice. But I know Micah Parsons said that he might follow Dan Quinn.
Listen, turn that down and give me a Nittany Lion in the building. Come on, man. Yeah. That's a no-brainer. I'll tell you what. Let's just put it out there, hypothetically speaking, to have some fun here. Dak Prescott's not happy there, and they treat him bad.
He's not either.
There's a chance that he could follow suit. Would you take him? I mean, come on now.
I would. I've been on the Dak bandwagon since the Senior Bowl. I've seen the guy when he was a kid trying to get into the draft. And I still see things that set up and say that he's a winner. Just gotta play to his strengths and stop putting him in bad positions.
Well, Dallas had a non-existent running game this year, which doesn't help anybody.
It doesn't.
And that's the thing. I think if you look at Dan Quinn, getting back to him, and you look at all the stuff that he's done, I'm going to say this. I was super happy for Raheem Morris to get the coaching job in Atlanta. And I felt like he was due, long overdue to get his second opportunity. Well, why not Dan Quinn? I mean, Dan Quinn, this is his second opportunity. He did something that Raheem didn't even do when Raheem was in Tampa. I mean, he took Atlanta to the Super Bowl and had an MVP quarterback in the process in Matt Ryan. So this guy's been there. He's done that. He just hasn't won the big one, but he won 2 as a defensive coordinator, or won 1 with Seattle and was in the second Super Bowl with Seattle. So he's done that. I think it's just that people remember, what have you done for me lately? And the last taste they have in their mouth is that debacle against the Packers. But if you look past that Cowboys defense looked awfully good this year. So it is what it is. He's the coach. You're not going to, package them and send them back. So you either cheer for him and hope good things, or you stay an untrue negative fan.
Yep, I agree. It's the first step in the process. Be interesting to see who he gets on his offensive staff and defensive staff. I'm going to say that right now. Number 93 needs to be in the building. All you have to do is go look at the tape when he was in Philly. That's all I'm going to say. Needs to be in the building. And
I'll throw another name out there, Al Harris. Get him over here.
Yes. Oh, man.
Al Harris has done phenomenal stuff with that secondary, but perhaps this is his elevation now to becoming a D coordinator. Yeah. And then perhaps maybe it's still out there. It's not done. Maybe Eric Bieniemy, you can talk him into sticking around and being that offensive coordinator. And I think a lot of people would feel a lot better about some things if that's the case.
Yes, because you and I both know, being a little on the inside there, we know what the real problem was with that whole staff.
Yeah, we definitely know that, and the jealousy is gone now. So let's just do this thing and row in the same direction and get it going.
Exactly. Let everybody know where they can follow you at and where they can find your work.
You can check me out on social media at Lake Lewis on X now. I keep saying Twitter, but it's X now. And then, of course, on IG and Facebook at Lake Lewis Jr., you can go to sportsjourney.com, see the great logo right there. You can check out my work, DJ, a lot of other great people doing some good stuff. And then, of course, you can listen to my podcast, which is the After Practice podcast. And now we're going to have that be powered by Thermopack. So, we're getting that going. And then, there's a big announcement coming real soon. Can't say it yet, but it's going to be good.
And Wole, thank you, brother, for tuning in. And that's excellent. He's under contract, so he'd have to be let go, in order to be out of here. So
so let's cheer him on, man. Let's give the guy some love, and hopefully he can turn this thing in the right direction, because we're all tired of covering a losing outfit, man.
Yes,
so let's hopefully Dan Quinn can be the guy to change things, him and Adam Peters. So let's go, let's do it.
Yes, sir. Well, Lake, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. And we'll see you on Wednesday the 7th. And we'll talk a little bit more, dig a little deeper into this thing and what this team can do.
All right, my friend. Good seeing you, little bro.
Good seeing you too. Lake Lewis, ladies and gentlemen. Real quick before we get out of here, want to make sure you guys go over to the Urban Sports Scene tonight. I believe that starts at 7:30 or maybe 8. Hopefully Wole's still out there. But go check out the Urban Sports Scene. Very important because they're all that good stuff. She's really good at what she does over there at Bowie TV. Let's see. There we go. 8:30, ladies and gentlemen. Go over to the Urban Sports Scene. You can watch them on YouTube. Great show. They cover all DC sports. They do an excellent job over there. You've seen them on the show here. So make sure you get over there and you do that, because it's going to be a great show tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go over to our YouTube page, our show Wednesday night, Kelly Clunk and 00 Dallas Glenn. We talked a little bit of NHRA off season and what they're going to be doing. It's going to be a fun season. So go over there and check that out. Like and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get these subscriptions up. We love it. We love you for taking the time to listen to us, to watch us. It's a blessing. And this has been fun. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for this bonus podcast, I'm Dujunnea. You've been listening to a Everything Nitro Sports Journey production, and I am out of here.